Hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. If you're new to our channel, subscribe, get on this journey with us. Just get on the journey because it's absolutely amazing. Smash a like. Let's go for 1,000 likes on this video and share your thoughts down below on Moussa Diaby to Aston Villa. Signed, sealed, delivered. He's here. When Fabrizio announced it, when he did his tweet that first time round, I went weak at the knees. My knees had gone. I was on my knees, but what a fantastic signing for Aston Villa. Absolutely huge, joined by Ryan. But before we start, we have had 5 glorious years of these owners of Aston Villa being on an upward trajectory. There has been a few difficult times, but now we are about to be on the cusp of the real deal Aston Villa. I did a tweet saying that I'm just so excited being a Villa fan. We have got great recruitment, a great recruitment team. We've got a manager driving that whole ship. We've got owners backing the whole thing on and off the pitch. The club is showing ambition like I have never, ever seen in my lifetime. I'm going to put it out there right now. I ain't seen ambition like this as a Villa fan in the 34 years that I've been supporting Aston Villa. This feels totally different. We're just doing different things. Yes, we've had successful periods of getting into Europe and getting into finals, but the whole vibe of Villa at the minute with this Unai Emery, Monchi, it just feels real deal. I've looked at clubs for years thinking, I just want to be like them. I wish my club operated like them. But this time now is totally different, and I am absolutely buzzing. How are you feeling, Ryan?
Bourdamment, which is on a quick Google Translate, buzzing for French. So hopefully Diaby's buzzing as well, and we see plenty of that action. But it's incredible. It's incredible. What a summer, Luke Robinson. What a summer we are having. It's incredible. It feels so balanced, so measured. We're just putting stuff in place. Day one on these podcasts. What is my word, Luke? What is my word? Foundations, mate. And they are fucking solid, mate. They are rock solid now. It just feels like it's intelligence, and it just feels like we're an intelligent operating club, and everything is done to perfection. Everything is thought about and then thought about again. There's nothing rash about us. It's just perfect. It's just the perfect time to be a Villa fan.
Do you know what I just picture in my head? I just picture Monchi with his shades on, picking up the blower, and he's just like, right, I'm calling for Aston Villa. We want your player. How much? And the negotiations. I mean, even the fees that we get in some of these players for, they're like bargains, really. We're spending loads of money, but it's coming out of it when you see the finer details of all these deals that we've had an absolute steal.
On the Athletic is reporting 34.6 million, which is much less than the quoted 50 million euros. So, my God, if we've got him for that, then we're operating like the mafia, to be fair, mate.
That's what I mean. Monchi gets his shades on and he's away.
For me, Luke, it feels like I'm just imagining myself as a player now. Say Diaby for Leverkusen, right? You're hearing of these bids going in for Villa, and next thing you know, you look at your phone. It's like, Monchi's calling. Looks like I'm off to the Villa then. Hello, Mr. Monchi. That's how I'm picturing the transfer.
The next one's like, Unai's phoning. Diaby picks up the phone. Where do you want me to play? Unai don't say nothing. He's just chill on the phone.
Yeah, definitely, man.
So yeah, it's just it's mad. Like I said earlier, I'm 34, and the way we're operating is it's just different. It's just next level. Like you said, it's calm, calculated. We're not like messing about. We're not even like the negotiations. Like when I first do like a transfer up on a player or something, and you have that sort of like that sounding out phase, and even that's just done properly now. There's no like pissing about. Like it's just a couple of days, then you get the next phase, and then it's about a week, and then it starts ramping up. So yeah, it just feels like we calculated, measured, we know what we want, and we're literally getting what we want, because that's
sensibly though, Luke. It's sensible because we're not just throwing cash at anybody, are we? These are targeted players for a targeted system. My favourite days was under O'Neill. I was in my 20s then. No, not a care in the world, no kids, like different misses every weekend, so you could do whatever you wanted. And I followed the Villa up and down the country all the time, and under O'Neill, it was exciting. Gabby was on fire back then. Like Ashley Young was on fire. Big John Carew up front. I love them days. But I look back on it now, and it just weren't sustainable. The way we're doing things now is completely different to them. Even though we had the same sort of resources, the same sort of money, it feels like this time it's more calculated and more measured to be sustainable for us to build and build and build. It's not just a couple of seasons where we'll have a smash and grab for Europe, and then when the money dries out, that's it. It's over. This feels like a sustainable project.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for me, and I'll always remember this, as what happened in January with Unai Emery, and a fan base was crying out for a striker. It was crying out for certain players, as you do as fans. You want new players. Every Villa fan wants new players, and the part and parcel of that window was we felt towards the end that we may have left ourselves slightly short, but Unai didn't want to waste money. He didn't want players just for the sake of bringing in players. We were linked with that Leon striker, which I was just saying would just be pointless, basically. And I'll always remember this now, because what it's led me to think now, and my belief and the way we operate is, and like you've just said, we're going after players that fit Unai Emery's way of playing and Unai Emery's system, and Monchi recruits based on what Unai Emery wants and how Unai Emery wants to play. So every player coming into Aston Villa knows what their role is, where they're playing, and that there is a fundamental area for them to come into the team. We don't waste money. We don't just buy players for the sake of it. Gone are the days of that. We're already sort of trying to offload Dendoncker now, because we signed him and we probably didn't really need him and we don't want to play him. So, poor recruitment can set you back a long way. And I think how we're going to start to operate now is, we're praising Monchi and doing his deals, but we're going to get the best out of Monchi in next summer, like the summer after that, because we'll be working towards a recruitment strategy. And I think, and I've said this numerous times, that as a Villa fan, it's always felt like as soon as that window shuts in September, all we start talking about is, right, we need this player to come in January. We need this player in January. We're already looking and scrambling for that next window, where if you recruit well, that shouldn't be the case. And that's where it feels different to me. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, definitely. Spot on. Really, January, unless a good deal comes up with a player you're targeting for the following summer, where you could probably get him in 6 months earlier, and the price ain't too high, or his contract running down, you can get him in for a few mil instead of getting him in the summer on a free. Then yes, them type of deals. But like you say, you don't want to be scrambling around paying 15 million for Danny Ings. That was a great sale, wasn't it? Because there was no way this summer you was getting that type of money. No. So in January, really, it's teams and clubs that are desperate for players to get them out of shit, basically, and it really. No one really buys that well to enhance their squad that they've already got, because the main deals are done in the summer and we're doing our main deals now, and we're going to be set up now for the season.
Yeah. So let's talk about Diaby then, and how he's going to fit into the Emery system, how he's going to improve Villa. And one of the big things that he's going to offer is speed and pace. That's the number one thing that he's going to offer Villa, and it's something that we have been crying out for quite a lot. So if we have a look at Aston Villa's current formation, so our current formation, the formation which we've been playing with so far under Unai Emery, this is how we played against Walsall as well. So it was the 4-2-2-2, or box midfield. Bailey or the winger will drift outside. What this is going to enable us to do with a Moussa Diaby is it is going to enable Diaby to drift inside. That's one of the big things that he likes to do. He likes to dribble inside as well. So by dribbling inside, it can take away midfielders from the opposition side. It can take away defenders, which in turn could open up space down here, would allow Luke Cadine or Moreno to get further forward as well. So with him wanting to cut inside and go through the middle, that opens different options for Aston Villa as well. He drags players out of position. He can play as that support striker as well. He's played as a striker. He can play in this little area, this little pocket of space as well. But what I see it doing for us is giving us more attacking options. Now, we know Unai Emery likes to tweak the system during a game. He'll play various formations during a game. He will adapt certain personnel for games. But we haven't really seen an adaptation of a more of an attacking formation for Aston Villa. Now, by Diaby coming in, we will have two out-and-out wingers at Aston Villa now, which is something that we haven't had before, because I think it was Gerrard decided to palm off and sell all of our wingers. So last season we were really short with pace out wide. But what it is going to enable us to do, if we want to, this is a possibility as well, is have Bailey on the left, Diaby on the right, a McGinn in the middle maybe, or a Buendia. Let's just stick McGinn there. And there we've got a formation of a 4-2-3-1. So already you can potentially see Aston Villa, maybe not every week, but for certain teams, we might want to go with two out-and-out pacey wingers, a little bit more structure in central midfield. That gives us a different option, an option that we haven't had. So maybe Diaby on the left, Bailey on the right. I think Bailey, does play pretty well when he is on the left anyway. So I think this is a little option that it's going to give us. If not, if it's still the same sort of system that we have been sticking with, I do think it gives us a little bit more potency up top and pace, power, trickery, speed, one-on-one attacking, as opposed to sort of not being that successful. So this is a big signing for Villa. It's massive. Ryan, I know you like your tactics as well. So what are your thoughts?
I don't think I can add to it, mate. You summed it up very well. But like you said, Diaby in that position there. We do like to play out from the back. We do like to draw teams in and then counter them, don't we? And I haven't watched a lot of Diaby. I've seen snippets of him. I've watched a bit of Bundesliga when lockdown was on and it was the first league to come back in. But from what I've seen, he is explosive and pace. And I think we're going to utilise him there on the half turn. So when we are playing out from the back, we'll look for him and he'll just be gone. He's rapid, and he's rapid. His touch is unreal. His close control is absolutely superb. And my God, he's got a thunderbolt as well, hasn't he? I've seen him ping a few goals in the top corner. There's a big expectation going to be on him. Record signing, so we've got to be patient with him. Leon Bailey from the same team had a very similar highlight reels, very similar stats and stuff like that. So we've got to give him time to integrate him into our squad. But I do feel like this is a top player, and for us to spend that type of money and chase him and go pound for pound with the Saudis who are splashing money left, right, and centre. And for us to stick to it and stick to our guns and convince that player that, you know, this is the place for you to be. You're 24 years old. You're not yet at your peak. We can improve you immensely. We can improve you. We can get you in that French team. We'll give you the spotlight. You've got the canvas of Villa Park to go and perform. And, you know, us Villa fans, we love an attacking player like that. You know, Ashley Young, round one, the way he used to get me off my seat and the excitement and, you know, the buzz, Grealish, when he was on the ball, you know, just that buzz. And I feel like Diaby can be that man to create that buzz and panic. You know what I mean? I've seen some of these highlight reels and there's about 10 players after him and it's just causing carnage in the defence. So, yeah, and like you say, like it does open up. You know, you look at them, you could go 2 wingers and really stretch teams, and that way you could probably play all 4 centre backs in with Torres as like a left back pushing the ball out into midfield and the rest of the 3 coming in. So it's going to be so intriguing to see game by game how we line up, how we set up. We might as well just scrap the predicted lineup, Luke, because I'll be very surprised if we get one right this season, if we're going pound for pound with the master tactician that is Emery, because he's just got so much up his sleeve, man. He's incredible, and it's going to be such a treat, such a visual treat for us fans to just soak it all in, watch it week in, week out. Something about this season now has just got me mega excited. I think something really special is going to happen. Really special.
I think the big thing to say as well is that last season, Unai Emery showed the owners, showed the Premier League what he's all about. You know, he came into Aston Villa with a team that he'd signed one player in January. Moreno got 1 player, and what he could do with that side in that short period of time, I think doesn't get spoken enough about for me, because it was literally remarkable. You know, to finish a point behind Brighton, who Brighton had this amazing season. Everybody says how good they are, and we were a point behind them with a team that's not even his team. He was in the job less time than De Zerbi. To show what he can do, it just shows to me that all now we have to do is give him the tools. Give him the tools to do his job. If you give him the tools to do his job, there is no doubt in my mind that it won't work, because he's an elite manager. He's an elite coach. He can win any game. He can go up toe-to-toe against any manager and come out on top. But all he needs is the tools to do it. And if we carry on this window the way that we're going, and we keep adding, because we do need more, we still need more. If we add in the right areas, I think we should be looking right up that table, right up it, because why not? We've got the manager that can do it. It's just having the squad. And I saw this stupid thread on Twitter the other day. It was this guy showing us how we should be worried about Unai Emery's tactics. And they were just saying that, you know, he came in and he had a camped 6 at the back. He had this, he had that. And I was just like, that's just off a couple of games where we were defending the lead at Stamford Bridge. Like, that should be applauded. That's the type of tactics he can just roll out, and that's what we do. And then next game we've got other tactics, and so I think that thread was an eye opener, because I just thought how wrong have you viewed what Unai Emery is doing at Villa, because it's so far from how much of a genius the guy is. So it's just amazing. And like I said earlier, I'm just proper excited, because I'm getting that sort of warmth, comfort that I know we're backing him. And that's been the only thing that needs to happen. Just back him and the success will come. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'll be watching it with you all the way, my friend, all the way. Like I said, I do think it's going to be such a special season, and Emery's earned that right, and he's earned that right to have some shiny new tools, and you've got every fact. You've just got 100% complete faith. I've never ever had this much faith in a human being in my whole life. Like, for a manager, I've never backed anyone as much as I've backed and trust Unai Emery. He just blew me away. He blew my mind last season. He just made me look at football completely differently. I've been watching football from as long as I can remember. I've been a season ticket holder since 1993. I've followed the Villa all my life, and what I learned in 6 months under Unai Emery last season was incredible, absolutely incredible compared to anything else I've ever known. The evolution of the team just unfolded in front of our eyes, the way the defence shifted, the way we learned the high line, the way we were brave enough to start passing out the back when to start off with was pretty much all shitting ourselves, and we just kept doing it and finding pockets, and it was just incredible. Like, the end of last season was something else, and like you say, we've given the tools now, and you look at our squad now on paper. I'm putting us up there with the likes of Newcastle, the likes of Chelsea, Tottenham. We're well in that mix, and that mix is on the edge of Champions League football, isn't it? It's like the way it's going, and the way this squad is moulding. Then it feels like to me that they're looking at that. They are looking at Champions League, isn't it, as a goal?
Yeah.
For that is the target, isn't it?
The dangling carrot that we've got this season is the top 5 gets Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
So top 5 gets Champions League next season. So why can't we go for 6th or 5th? Like, why not? Like, I know it's very difficult for I think for some to sort of think, okay, hold on a minute. Like, how are we going to get 5th? How are we going to get 6th? But like, why not? Like, you saw for so long last season that we were like the second most informed team. Like, it was mental. So I think, if I was to meet Unai in the street and I said, Unai, where do you want to finish next season? He ain't going to say 7th, is he?
Nah.
Is he going to say 7th?
No.
Of course he's not.
No.
He's going to be thinking, I want to finish as high as possible. So there we go. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, Luke, Emery walked through that door first day. What do you think his target was? I don't think it was to achieve mid-table, innit? High as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And why not Europe? I think that was his target from the off. And it's incredible that we done it. And he kept saying, the target's changed, the objectives changed. But I don't think so. I think in the back of his mind, he thought, I can get these going and get these moving up the league. And I do. I think you look at what was up there. That Chelsea was faltering. You had teams like Fulham and Brentford that not really experiencing being up there, and the squads to maintain the push. And I just think, in the back of my head, he's gone, you know what? I know hindsight's lovely and it's easy to say that now, but I do feel that, Emery's got that ambition and, that drive to make it happen.
Yeah, and this signing just shows that the ambition is there. And yeah, absolutely amazing signing. So happy that he's here. It's going to be epic to see how it all unfolds and what's left for this window. So we'll leave it there then. Up the Diaby, up the Monchi, up the Emery, up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
See you later.
See you, man.